You know what I find funny? That most people think that expensive equipment breaks because of expensive parts. The engine blows up, hydraulic pump goes bad, transmission fails. That's what everybody worries about. But in my experience, what usually gets you is the cheap stuff, the little stuff, the parts nobody thinks twice about. And today, we're going to talk about two little pieces. I'm talking about the size of your hand that's going to keep your equipment from operating. So we're going to look at that. Now, these small, inexpensive pieces, they can cause a lot of downtime and they can cause a lot of problems on your machines. And when you get these pieces of equipment that is small and all this stuff, that's going to cause a lot of headaches if you don't take care of them right away. And you can get all these parts at FridayParts.com. FridayParts.com has over 70,000 SKU numbers that you can choose from. So if you have a problem with any machine that you have, FridayParts.com probably has the part that you're looking for. I'll leave a link in the description. We got this joystick and this fuel solenoid, and it's going to help us get our equipment back up and running. And those small problems that cause big headaches, we're going to attend to those. Now, if you own equipment, if you own an excavator, skid steer, tractor, you already know that these little problems that present themselves, I mean, look, that right there, this is the new part. The old part, that's the smallest part of the problem right there. So can we fix it by putting a new part, inexpensive part on it? Absolutely. And you know already that if you own a piece of equipment, that if you have a problem like this, they don't fix themselves, they just get worse, right? And so you have to tend to it very fast, or the problem's going to keep you from getting your work done. You're going to not be able to dig, you're not going to be able to haul, you're not going to be able to cut. And these small problems become big headaches, and we don't want that. We want to fix these things right, and we want to fix them quick. So let's start with the first issue. This machine's been acting weird on startup. Sometimes it fires right up, other times nothing. And intermittent problems, those are the most frustrating to diagnose, because when something is not completely broken, at least you know where to start. But intermittent problems, man, they can make you chase your tail. Battery looks good, connections look good, fuel's good, nothing obvious. And that's usually when I start thinking, okay, maybe something small, maybe something electrical, something that works until it doesn't. And after tracing through a few things, we came back and we figured out it's probably the fuel solenoid. Now, for those of you that don't mess with motors or engines that much, this little fuel solenoid, look how small that part is right there. This little thing controls fuel delivery. Again, we got this from FridayParts.com. It's small, but it's going to cause you a lot of headaches if it don't work properly. The engine may crank or it may not. It may act completely dead. And the crazy thing about a small part like this, it can make a healthy machine act broken. So this fuel solenoid, this is where these, you know, if you own any equipment, you know that you've got makeshift, you got makeshift solutions. And this is actually the fuel shutoff right here, where you yank it like a rip cord of some sort. So let's get in here, let's get this thing taken care of, let's get the new one put on. And this thing, it's just aggravating. And those, when things get aggravating, that's when the headaches start, you know. But we're gonna get this thing changed out, and this thing's gonna crank up. It's gonna be muy bueno. What we've done is we've added a solution. You know, that's what farmers do, equipment owners do. This plunger goes in and out here. So we're gonna disconnect it and we're gonna fix it, because that's what we're supposed to do. So we have it's just two little screws that hold the bracket on. All right. Let's see if I can get this little, nope, can't get that in there. I know this is going to shock you guys, but this is a 10 millimeter bolt to take this off with. And these little repairs like this, you've got to take care of them. You can make field repairs. But you have to be really, really careful when you're making repairs like this, that you don't drop the bolts, because on this particular machine, you can't access the belly pan, and that thing will be gone forever if that was the case. Magnets are your friend in this particular scenario. One down, one to go. There it is. It's not the right one. We got the fuel solenoid out. So now we just got to get the connections off of it here. So we got the old part out. It literally took me like 3 minutes to take this part out, right? So now that we got the old part out, we got to put the new part from FridayParts.com back in it. And we got to test it, make sure that we put the right, because you have different wiring that carry different voltage and amps and all that stuff. They also have different functions. And if you don't get those wires put on correctly onto the terminals of your new solenoid, then you're going to have more headaches. So let's get this new part put on from FridayParts.com. And we're going to get this hammer knocker going to fire right up. Come on. We got her buttoned up. Now let's just see if she works. All he's got to do is turn the switch on, and then he should be able to start moving some trees here with that brand new fuel solenoid. Let's see if it cranks up with the repair that we just made.
You ready for it, Mike?
Let's do it.
Next time, if you tell them to guess the hours, I will send them a t-shirt and a hat.
Guess the hours on this machine and leave a comment below. Oh, look at that. Works like a champ. So now when you get that new small part put in, you don't have those big headaches, right? So now he's able to get back to work. Look at that, headache solved. That's the first problem we solved. Let's go take care of the second one. If you haven't left a comment yet, I'll give you the answer, 4,000. But that's it. Let's go solve that second problem. Let's just get rid of these small headaches. You know what I'm saying? Now let's talk about this joystick. The machine started having some problems, right? Nothing crazy, but sometimes the horn would work, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes the controls would work, sometimes they were a little inconsistent. So again, small part, big problem. So you got to take care of these things, and you got to take care of them when they start to happen, so that you can get back into the groove, get back to working, and cut off on those inefficiencies and make sure that your productivity stays high. Okay, super easy repair. Let's see if it works. Look at that, there you go. I'm gonna lift my truck up.
It would.
And you can see now how fixing those problems quick, those small problems quick, saves you a lot of headache. So today was a good reminder. Expensive equipment doesn't always break in expensive ways. Sometimes the biggest headaches come from the smallest parts. Like today was the fuel solenoid and the joystick handle. Both of those are critical to the operation of these machines. And I think this applies to everything. Skid steers, excavators, tractors. Everybody worries about those catastrophic failures, those blown engines, those bad transmissions. But a lot of downtime is caused by small repairs that you need to make ASAP. The cool thing about most of these small repairs is they give you plenty of warning before you have to address them. So if your machine starts acting weird, don't ignore it. Investigate it. Go to Friday Parts and get the parts that you need to fix your machine and get that machine back up and running. Chop, chop, ASAP. Appreciate you guys watching. Get in your Bibles.